All right, we're going to cover a pretty cool scenario here where we were able to help collect 87K for a business recently. So Marcus had been running his business for about 11 years. Full crew, steady contracts, good clients, but they had 87 grand sitting in unpaid invoices, and his bank account had less than 2 weeks of runway left, which is not a good thing. So he came to me and said, I don't know how much longer I can keep the lights on. And he had a valid point. So in 45 days, we were able to collect every dollar for him, and I'm going to show you how we did it. Here's what's made Marcus's situation dangerous. On paper, the business looked good. The P&L showed profit, but profitable on paper and actually getting paid are two completely different things, as you know. So he had 87 grand spread across 14 invoices, some 60 up to 120 days late. He had sent emails out, but no client was responding and no money was coming in. He didn't have a collections process. He didn't have a follow-up system. And he was starting to float payroll out of his own personal line of credit. And that's something as a business we want to always avoid. We don't want to get put in that position. It's one of the most common things I see in cash flow traps, and it almost always starts as a process problem, not a money problem. So the 4 steps we use to get every dollar back, they're listed out right here. I kind of briefly summarized them and just wanted to show this to you guys. We called each client and opened with a relationship question. We didn't just lead with the invoice or an email. We actually got on the phone with them and asked, is everything okay on your end? Is there any issues we need to address? Is there any dispute with pricing, quantity, all of the above? Two things happened when we did this. We find out if there's any hidden dispute, which 3 of them had, and then you're able to reestablish contact before you get to a point of escalation. That step alone resolved almost $20,000 in the first 10 days for him. It's really good. So step 2, the formal notice sequence. So for everyone who did not resolve on the first call, we moved to a 3-touch written sequence. First email was an invoice reminder, copy of the original invoice, payment link, and a 7-day deadline. Second email was the second notice, reference to our prior contact to them, and a new deadline. The third email was a final notice. It's professional and firm and clears the way for the next steps that are coming. So keep in mind, you all, vague emails get vague responses. That's how it's always going to be. Specific deadlines with specific consequences get action. You have to have specifics in your messaging to get money collected. So step 3 was his escalation decision. At this point, you have 2 types of clients. Slow paying clients who are going to pay, you just need to stay on top of them all the time, and clients who are avoiding you with no intention of paying without real pressure. For anything over 5 grand with no ongoing relationship, we escalated. Demand letter from an attorney, collections agency, small claim if the amount fits. Marcus had 2 clients that fell into this bucket, and once we triggered those notices, one paid in 48 hours after the attorney letter, the other took 30 days, but both paid in full, which is great news. Step 4 is fix the system. Collecting money is step 1. Making sure it never piles up like this again is the real job at this point for Marcus and team. We changed 3 things. Net 15 terms instead of net 30 on any new work. For some of you, you're probably going to be collecting up front, and that's totally fine, and that's good too. We also automated invoice reminders at day 7, day 14, and then 21 for those that he could not get on a net 15 cadence. There was a weekly AR review, and that happened every Friday, and it was roughly 5 to 15 minutes to look at the open aging report. It just got it out there in front of him. It's simple, repeatable, and it works. So by day 45, Marcus had collected 87,000. His cash runway went from 2 weeks to 4 months, which is really nice, and he stopped floating payroll out of his personal line of credit, which also helped him relax a little bit more at night, and he wasn't mentally exhausted or drained from worrying about how to collect money. So the lesson is, Cash flow problems almost never start as a cash flow problem. A lot of times, what I see is they're a process problem. No one's following up, no one owns the receivables, nobody is looking at the aging report every week, and by the time a cash crisis hits, you have been bleeding cash for months. The fix isn't really complicated, it just has to get done. So if you want the exact templates we used, the email sequence, the aging format, and the checklist, the weekly AR checklist, I put all of this inside the Profit Platoon. It's my community for business owners and entrepreneurs who want to get their financial systems right. Link's going to be in the description and in the pinned comment. Come introduce yourself and let me know how I can help you get your receivables looking right. Hope to see you there.